Now, Kuwait's Constitutional Court has struck down a law that criminalised transgender people. The law made it a crime to imitate the opposite sex, but the court ruled that policing people who dress and behave like the opposite sex was inconsistent with the Constitution's values. The decision has been hailed as a breakthrough for Kuwait, a country where homosexual relations are still criminalised with up to 7 years in prison. In fact, there are 13 countries in the world where homosexuality is still punishable by death. One of those countries is Saudi Arabia. My next guest says that he is the first openly gay man from Saudi Arabia. He now lives in Kansas in the United States. Wajeeh Lion is a journalist and an international human rights activist, and he joins us now. Delighted to have you with us. Thank you for joining us. So, first of all, what do you make of this move by Kuwait? Is this a tiny step forward for LGBT rights?
It might be a very small step toward the right direction. Certainly, Kuwait and the Arab Gulf has been violating the LGBT community rights for many years now. In October 3rd of 2021, Mahal Matari, a transgender woman who has been sexually assaulted by the Kuwaiti police, who's been arrested several times already by the Kuwaiti police, was sentenced to 2 years in prison and $3,000 of fines just because apparently they consider her appearing like woman when she's a transgender woman. So there is a huge leap in the system that we are seeing currently in Israel and in Kuwait, and we hope that these decriminalization move to legalization and allowing the transgender community to have a better life in Kuwait. But I really don't think this law is going to make any effect on the Kuwaiti lifestyle, especially that it seems very cosmetic and not something serious of legal changes that would affect the lives of the transgender women or transgender men in Kuwait.
Okay, so talking about countries then where Sharia law is applied, as in some countries in the Middle East and parts of Africa, there homosexuality is a crime, and in some cases it is punishable by death. Saudi Arabia is one of those countries. Can you tell us about your experience as a gay man who was born and brought up in Saudi Arabia?
I grew up in a very religious family in Saudi Arabia. In fact, I'm a descendant of the Prophet family. My dad is a Wahhabist, and I had to memorize the Quran on a daily basis. It was a very strict environment. I had so many hatred toward myself. I even tried to commit suicide several times. And just because of the amount of hate that I had toward myself because of being gay. I was sexually harassed and assaulted by the people that taught me the Quran. That was even before I was 12 years old. That has already happened. So it was a very confusing environment to grow up in. It was a very sheltering environment to grow up in that I didn't know anything about the rest of the world. It was when I came out in 2015, 2016, I was in direct threat of being kidnapped by the Saudi government. And that's why I had to go into a safe house with the Kansas City Anti-Violence Project for about a year.